The silver collar burns against Sarah's throat as she's dragged into the grand hall, her bare feet scraping against cold marble. Alpha Theron sits motionless on his throne, a figure carved from ice and shadow, watching her with eyes like frozen steel. Around his neck hangs a crystal pendant, his dead mate's necklace, the one thing he salvaged from the fire that took Luna Ariana 3 years ago. Everyone knows he's never removed it. Everyone knows he'll never take another mate. She tried to steal from the vault, Alpha. The guard's fingers dig into Sarah's arm hard enough to bruise. Caught her with this. He throws something that clatters across the floor. Sarah's breath catches. It's a small wooden box, plain and worthless to anyone but her. Inside are three things: a faded letter, a silver ring too small for any adult finger, and a pressed flower from a tree that no longer exists. Everything she has left of a mother she barely remembers. I wasn't stealing, Sarah whispers, but her voice barely carries in the cavernous space. The hall is packed with pack members who've gathered for evening court. She can feel their eyes on her, hungry for drama, eager to watch someone fall. She's been invisible to them for 6 years, just another blood slave purchased from the southern territories. Invisible until now. Theron stands. He's massive, well over 6 feet of raw muscle and predatory grace, and when he moves, the crowd instinctively retreats. His presence fills the room like a physical force. Sarah has spent years carefully avoiding his attention, keeping her head down, doing her work in the kitchens and healing rooms where blood slaves are expected to serve without complaint. She tends wounds that should sicken her, cleans blood from training mats, and donates her own blood twice monthly to strengthen the pack's warriors. She's property, expendable, forgettable. Except she's made one catastrophic mistake. She's fallen in love with the one wolf in this entire territory who can never, will never, look at her as anything but a convenient source of nourishment. The vault, Theron says, his voice a low rumble that seems to resonate in her chest. Why? My box was stored there when I arrived. Sarah forces herself to look up, to meet those cold eyes, even though every instinct screams at her to submit. I asked the steward 3 times for permission to retrieve it. He said it wasn't important enough to bother you with, so I went myself. You broke into my vault. It's not a question. The door was open. This is true, technically. One of the guards had been careless, distracted by a female wolf who'd been flirting with him. Sarah had seen her chance and taken it, desperate to hold something that connected her to who she was before she became this, a thing that bleeds on command. I only wanted what was mine. Theron descends the 3 steps from his throne with predatory precision. The crowd parts like water. Sarah's wolf stirs inside her, the part of herself she's kept ruthlessly suppressed since the day she was sold. Blood slaves who shift are killed immediately. They're too dangerous, too unpredictable. So she's buried that part of herself so deep, she sometimes forgets it exists. But now, with Theron approaching, with his scent washing over her like pine and winter storms, her wolf whimpers and strains against her control. She's been secretly watching him for 2 years, noticing things she shouldn't. The way he rubs his left shoulder when old wounds ache. How he takes his coffee black except on the anniversary of Ariana's death, when he doesn't drink it at all. The barely perceptible softness in his expression when he watches the pack children play. She tells herself it's nothing, that she's pathetic for harboring feelings for a male who doesn't know she exists. Who would be disgusted if he knew what she really feels? He stops directly in front of her. This close, she can see the scars crossing his knuckles, the faint silver threading through his dark hair at the temples. The pendant around his neck seems to pulse with its own light, Ariana's crystal heart still glowing with traces of her power. Blood slaves don't have possessions, Theron says quietly. There's no cruelty in his tone, just statement of fact. Everything you brought here became pack property, including you. I know. Sarah's throat constricts around the collar. But that box is all I have left of my mother. Please, I wasn't trying to steal. I just wanted to hold something that mattered. For a long moment, he studies her. Sarah's aware of how she must look. Underfed and pale from constant blood donations, her dark hair hacked short because she cut it herself with kitchen shears, wearing the plain gray dress that marks her status. There are healing bruises on her arms from where other wolves have fed roughly, without care. She's nothing. She's no one. But something flickers in Theron's eyes. Something she can't read. He bends down, retrieves the wooden box, opens it. She watches his expression carefully as he examines the contents. The letter written in a feminine hand, the tiny ring, the brittle flower. His jaw tightens almost imperceptibly. "This is what you risked punishment for?" he asks. "Yes, Alpha." He closes the box. Sarah's heart sinks, certain he'll throw it away or burn it in front of her as a lesson about obedience and knowing one's place. Instead, he does something that shocks everyone in the hall into stunned silence. He reaches out and touches her face. It's just his fingertips against her jaw, tilting her head so he can see her more clearly. His hand is rough with calluses but impossibly gentle, and the contact sends electricity racing through her entire body. Her wolf surges forward with desperate hunger, recognizing something Sarah's human mind refuses to acknowledge. The crystal pendant around Theron's neck flares brilliant white. Everyone gasps. Theron jerks back as if burned, his hand going to the pendant. The crystal is glowing so brightly it hurts to look at directly, pulsing in rhythm with Sarah's racing heartbeat. This isn't possible. The pendant has been dark since Ariana died. Nothing has activated it. Theron has touched other females, spoken to them, even allowed his council to introduce potential mates. The crystal has never responded. Until now. "What did you do?" The guard who'd dragged her in steps forward, his voice sharp with accusation. "What kind of magic is this?" "I didn't—" Sarah shakes her head frantically. "I don't know what's happening." But that's a lie. Deep in the most secret part of her soul, she knows exactly what this is, what it means. She just doesn't understand why. The pendant was designed specifically for Ariana, crafted to recognize her unique spiritual signature, to respond only to her essence. For it to activate now can only mean one impossible thing. Theron's staring at her like he's never seen her before. Like she's suddenly become visible when she spent 6 years as background noise. The crystal continues to glow, and now other strange things are happening. The torches lining the walls flare brighter. The temperature in the hall rises noticeably. Sarah feels power stirring in her blood, the power she's spent years suppressing. And panic claws at her throat. "Alpha, she must be using dark magic," another council member declares. "Trying to trick you with some kind of spell. Blood slaves from the southern territories are known for their deceptions." "No spell could activate that pendant," Theron says softly, never taking his eyes off Sarah. "Nothing should activate it. Ariana bound it to herself before she died. Only her essence could light it again." "Then how?" "Unless—" The pack's eldest advisor, a gray-haired female named Nadine, steps forward. Her face has gone pale, her eyes wide with something that looks like recognition. "Alpha, how long has this slave been in your pack?" 6 years, Theron responds. "And where did she come from?" "The Southern Territories. The Shadowpine pack sold her after they were conquered." Nadine approaches Sarah slowly, carefully, like she's something dangerous. "Child, what was your mother's name?" "I don't remember." This is what Sarah has always said, the story she's told for safety. "I was very young when she died." "Look at her eyes, Alpha." Nadine's voice shakes. "Truly look at them." Theron does. Sarah tries to lower her gaze, but he catches her chin, forces her to meet his stare. His eyes widen fractionally, the only sign of his shock. Because Sarah's eyes, which normally appear plain brown in dim light, are reflecting the pendant's glow in a way that reveals their true color. Silver. Pure crystalline silver, exactly like the pendant itself. That's not possible, someone breathes. But it is possible, because Sarah knows what she is, what she's always been. She knows why the Southern Pacts were so eager to sell her, why they beat her and starved her and made sure she never had a chance to shift, never had a moment to access the power sleeping in her blood. She's not just any blood slave, she's the last surviving child of the Luna Prime bloodline, the same ancient line that produced Ariana. The same bloodline that was supposedly wiped out 15 years ago when hunters massacred the Crystal Moon Pack. Remove her collar, Theron orders. Alpha, if she's dangerous. Remove it, now. The guard fumbles with the silver lock. The moment the collar falls away, Sarah gasps as power floods through her system. Her wolf rises to the surface, no longer suppressed by the silver's dampening effect, and the transformation begins before she can stop it. She tries to fight it, tries to push the wolf back down, but it's been caged too long. Her bones crack and reshape, her skin ripples with fur, and then she's standing on 4 legs in the middle of Theron's hall. The crowd erupts in chaos, because Sarah's wolf isn't the brown or gray or black of normal pack wolves. She's pure white, with fur that gleams like freshly fallen snow and eyes that burn with silver fire. A Luna Prime wolf, a queen's wolf, the kind that appears once in a generation, born to rule, blessed by the moon goddess herself. Theron doesn't move. He's staring at her white wolf form with an expression she can't interpret. The pendant around his neck has gone supernova bright, casting shadows that dance across the walls, and now something even stranger happens. The crystal detaches from the chain and floats through the air towards Sarah. She backs away, whimpering, but the crystal follows. It hovers in front of her wolf's chest, then slowly, inexorably, sinks into her fur and disappears. Sarah feels it settle inside her heart, feels it merge with her essence, and understands with perfect clarity what's happening. The pendant is transferring, choosing her, recognizing her as Luna Prime, as Ariana's successor, as the true mate Theron needs. She shifts back to human form, crouching naked on the cold marble floor. Someone throws a cloak over her shoulders. She clutches it gratefully, trembling from exhaustion and fear, and the overwhelming sensation of having the crystal's power flowing through her veins. "I'm sorry," she whispers, though she's not sure what she's apologizing for. For hiding what she was? For surviving when Ariana didn't? For the pendant choosing her when she has no right to it? "I never meant for this to happen." Theron kneels in front of her. Up close, she can see the storm of emotions in his eyes. Shock, confusion, something that might be anger or might be something else entirely. He reaches out again, more cautiously this time, and touches the center of her chest where the pendant has merged with her skin. She can feel the crystal's presence there, warm and alive, pulsing in time with both their heartbeats. "You've been here 6 years," he says quietly. 6 years. And you never told me what you were. "They would have killed me." Sarah's voice breaks. "Blood slaves who can shift are executed. I had to hide it. I had to survive." "Do you know who Ariana was to me?" "Yes. Everyone knows. She was your mate. Your Luna. You loved her." "I did." The rawness in his voice cuts through her. "And when she died, I swore I would never take another, that no one could replace her." Sarah nods, blinking back tears. Of course, she's always known this. Whatever the pendant means, whatever bizarre cosmic accident has caused it to choose her, it doesn't change reality. Theron loved Ariana. He'll always love Ariana. Sarah is just a blood slave who happened to be born with the wrong bloodline, the wrong power. She's a mistake. But the pendant doesn't make mistakes, Theron continues, as if reading her thoughts. Ariana crafted it with ancient magic, bound it to recognize only one thing, the essence of her true mate's future Luna, not her replacement, her successor, the one chosen by the goddess to complete what she started. Sarah's breath catches. I don't understand. Ariana knew she was dying. Theron's thumb brushes across where the pendant has merged with Sarah's skin. The fire that killed her wasn't an accident. She sacrificed herself to save the pack from a dark magic attack. Before she died, she created the pendant as a safeguard. She told me that someday, when the time was right, it would find the female meant to stand at my side, the one who would heal what was broken. But I'm nothing. Sarah shakes her head desperately. I'm a slave. I'm weak. I've spent 6 years bleeding for your pack without any of them even knowing my name. You're Luna Prime. Theron's voice hardens with something like anger, but not directed at her. You're the last of the Crystal Moon royal line, and you've survived things that should have destroyed you. You've hidden in plain sight, suppressed a power that most wolves would kill to possess, and you've served a pack that treated you like property. That's not weakness. That's extraordinary strength. He stands, pulling her up with him. The cloak slips slightly, but he adjusts it carefully, preserving her modesty even as the entire pack watches. When he addresses the crowd, his voice carries absolute authority. This female is no longer a blood slave, effective immediately. She is under my personal protection. Anyone who harms her, threatens her, or treats her with anything less than the respect due to her bloodline will answer to me directly. Murmurs ripple through the hall. The guard who dragged her in has gone pale, clearly realizing he'd manhandled someone who might become their Luna. The council members are exchanging worried glances, uncertain how to navigate this sudden shift in pack dynamics. But Alpha, one of them ventures carefully, the Luna Prime bloodline was destroyed. Everyone knows this. How can we be certain she's really? The pendant chose her. Theron's eyes flash with his wolf's gold. That's the only certainty I need. However, if you require further proof, we can arrange for the ancient trials. Sarah, are you willing to undergo the tests that confirm Luna Prime heritage? Sarah's mind races. The trials are dangerous, designed to push candidates to the breaking point. Many don't survive them. But refusing would cast doubt on everything, would leave her vulnerable to those who see her as a threat or a fraud. She has no choice. Yes, Alpha. Then we'll convene the council tomorrow to begin preparations. Theron turns back to address the pack. Until the trials are complete, Sarah will reside in the Luna's quarters. She will have access to appropriate clothing, food, and anything else she requires. She is to be treated as a guest of honor. He extends his hand to her. It's a simple gesture, but monumental in its implications. In front of the entire pack, the Alpha, who has touched no female with tenderness since his mate's death, is offering his hand to a former blood slave. Sarah stares at it for a long moment, her heart hammering against her ribs. Then she places her hand in his. His fingers close around hers, warm and strong, and that same electric current from before surges between them. The space in her chest where the pendant has merged flares with heat. She gasps and sees Theron's eyes widen as he feels it too, the beginning of a mate bond forming, tentative and fragile, but unmistakably real. Come, he says softly, we have much to discuss. He leads her through the hall, past the stunned pack members, past the council's concerned faces, past the guards who scramble to open doors. Sarah's bare feet are silent on the marble, her borrowed cloak trailing behind her, and she feels like she's walking through a dream. 6 years. She's been here 6 years, invisible and overlooked. And now suddenly, She's at the center of everything. The Luna's quarters are in the East Wing, rooms that have remained sealed since Ariana's death. Theron opens the doors himself, and Sarah steps into a space that takes her breath away. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook a garden bathed in moonlight. Furniture upholstered in soft fabrics, shelves lined with books, artwork that must have been chosen by someone with refined taste. It's beautiful. It's terrifying. These were Ariana's rooms, Theron says, watching her reaction carefully. I haven't let anyone enter them since she passed, but she would want them to be used. She would want you to be comfortable. Sarah turns to face him. They're alone now, truly alone for the first time ever, and she's hyper-aware of every detail. The way his massive frame seems to fill the space. The scent of him, stronger without the crowd's various smells to mask it. The heat radiating from his body. Why are you doing this? She asks. You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. The pendant might have chosen me, but that doesn't mean you have to accept it. Theron is quiet for a long moment. Then he moves to one of the windows staring out at the garden below. When he speaks, his voice is rough with emotion. I've noticed you, Sarah. I've noticed you for 2 years. Her heart stops. What? You thought you were invisible. You weren't. Not to me. He turns to look at her, and there's something raw in his expression. I've watched you tend to wounded wolves with a gentleness most pack members don't possess. I've seen you slip extra food to the Omega children when you thought no one was looking. I've observed you working yourself to exhaustion, donating more blood than is healthy, and never once complaining. But you never said anything. You never acknowledged me. Because I thought I was going insane. A bitter smile crosses his face. My mate had been dead for a year when I first really saw you. You were in the healing rooms, singing softly to a warrior who was dying from silver poisoning. Your voice calmed him. He passed peacefully instead of in agony. And I stood there thinking about how Ariana used to sing the same way. I thought it was grief making me draw comparisons where none existed. Sarah's throat tightens. I didn't know. How could you? I made sure you didn't. Theron takes a step toward her. But then I kept noticing things. The way animals responded to you. They'd follow you around the grounds like you were calling to them. How plants seemed to grow healthier in areas you frequented. Warriors who received your blood healed faster than those who used other donors. Small things. Strange things. Things that suggested you were far more than what you appeared to be. Why didn't you say anything? Because you were clearly hiding. His voice gentles. And I thought if you were hiding, you must have a reason. I thought perhaps you were running from something, that exposing you would put you in danger. So I waited. I watched. I made sure you were assigned to areas where you'd be safest, where the rougher wolves couldn't harm you. I had the guards rotate so you'd never be alone with anyone dangerous. Sarah stares at him, processing this revelation. All this time she'd thought she was beneath his notice. He'd been protecting her, watching over her. The realization is overwhelming. I thought you didn't even know my name, she whispers. Sarah? He says it like a prayer, like something precious. Your name is Sarah. You're 24 years old. You were sold to my pack by Alpha Dorian of Shadowpine after his pack was conquered by the Eastern Alliance. You have a scar on your left shoulder from silver burns. Someone hurt you badly before you came here. You bite your lower lip when you're concentrating. You're left-handed. And you've been in love with me for approximately 2 years, though you've done an admirable job of hiding it. The floor seems to tilt beneath her feet. How did you? I told you. I've been watching. He closes the distance between them, standing so close she has to tilt her head back to meet his eyes. And my wolf has been calling to you for months. I thought it was madness. I thought I was betraying Ariana's memory by feeling drawn to a blood slave. But the bond was forming whether I accepted it or not. The mate bond, Sarah's voice is barely audible. You felt it before the pendant revealed me. Yes, and I hated myself for it. His hand comes up to cup her face, the gesture heartbreakingly tender. I tried to push it away, tried to convince myself it was nothing. But then tonight, when that guard dragged you into my hall, when I saw the fear in your eyes and the bruises on your arms, something in me snapped. I was ready to kill him for touching you, and I realized I couldn't fight this anymore. Tears spill down Sarah's cheeks. This is too much. Too fast. She's gone from being property to being the center of the alpha's attention in a single night, and her mind can barely comprehend the shift. I don't know how to be what you need, she admits. I don't know how to be Luna. I don't know how to be anything except what I've been. Then we'll figure it out together. Theron's thumb brushes away her tears. But first, you need to survive the trials. And Sarah, I won't lie to you. They're designed to be brutal. The council will try to prove you're not worthy. They'll push you to your limits and beyond. Some of them will hope you fail. Why would they hope that? Because you're a threat to the established order. Because accepting you means accepting that the goddess has a plan we don't understand. Because change is frightening. He leans forward slightly, his forehead nearly touching hers. But I believe you're strong enough. I believe you're exactly who the pack needs, even if they can't see it yet. And what do you need? The question escapes before Sarah can stop it. Theron's eyes darken with something that makes her pulse race. I need my mate. I need the female who's been calling to my wolf for 2 years. I need someone who understands loss and pain and survival. I need you. The mate bond flares between them, stronger now, no longer tentative. Sarah feels it wrapping around her heart, connecting her to this powerful male in ways that go beyond physical attraction. It's soul deep, inevitable, terrifying in its intensity. But Ariana will always have a place in my heart. Theron's voice is firm. I won't dishonor her memory by pretending she didn't exist, by erasing what we had. But she's gone. And the pendant she created specifically to find you tells me that she knew I would need someone after her, that she wanted me to find love again. With you. Sarah doesn't know who moves first. Maybe they both do, but suddenly his mouth is on hers, and the kiss is everything she's secretly dreamed about and more. He's gentle despite his size, reverent despite his power, and the mate bond sings with recognition and rightness. She feels the crystal in her chest pulse in rhythm with their racing hearts, feels ancient magic stirring to life, feels everything she's been suppressing for 6 years rising to the surface. When they break apart, they're both breathing hard. Theron rests his forehead against hers, his hands framing her face. Promise me something, he says quietly. Anything. Promise me you'll fight. In the trials, when they try to break you, when it seems impossible. Promise me you'll fight to survive, because I just found you, and I'm not ready to lose you. I promise. Sarah means it. She's survived 6 years as a blood slave. She's survived having her wolf suppressed and her power hidden. She's survived being invisible and overlooked and treated as property. She can survive whatever the trials throw at her. She has to. Because for the first time in her life, she has something worth fighting for. Theron stays with her that night. Not in a sexual way, but simply present. Unwilling to leave her alone in unfamiliar rooms. He sits in a chair by the window while she curls up in the enormous bed that once belonged to his dead mate, and tells her stories about the pack, about Ariana, about the ancient trials she'll face. His voice is soothing in the darkness, and Sarah finds herself relaxing despite everything. The first trial is physical, he explains. You'll be sent into the northern mountains alone, without supplies. You'll need to survive for 3 days and return with proof that you faced the ancient guardian spirit that lives there. What kind of spirit? A massive wolf made of ice and moonlight. It's said to be a manifestation of the moon goddess herself. If you're truly Luna Prime, it will recognize you. If you're not, he trails off, but the implication is clear. If she's not, the spirit will kill her. What's the second trial? Mental and emotional. You'll be placed in a vision state where you'll have to confront your deepest fears and traumas. Many candidates lose themselves in the visions and never wake up. Sarah shivers. She has plenty of fears and traumas to confront. The memory of her family's massacre, the years of abuse in the Shadowpine Pack, the constant terror of being discovered and executed, the bone-deep loneliness of being invisible. And the third trial? Spiritual. You'll have to access the full depth of your Luna Prime power and use it to heal a wound in the Pack's spiritual bonds. Ariana performed this trial by mending the connection between our pack and the earth magic of our territory. You'll have to do something similar, though the exact nature of the task reveals itself only when you're in the moment. So I could die in any of these trials. Yes. Theron doesn't sugarcoat it. But I don't believe you will. The pendant chose you. That means you're meant to be here. Meant to be Luna. Meant to be his mate. Sarah closes her eyes, letting that thought settle into her bones. The mate bond hums contentedly between them, strengthened by their kiss, by the promises they've made. She can feel him even from across the room, can sense his presence like a warm anchor in stormy seas. Tell me about her, Sarah says quietly. About Ariana. I should know who I'm following. Theron is silent for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is thick with memory and grief. She was fierce, brave beyond reason. She saw good in everyone, even when they didn't deserve it. She loved with her whole heart. He pauses. She was my best friend before she was my mate. We grew up together. When the mate bond formed, it felt inevitable. Like coming home. You must miss her terribly. Every day. But Sarah, I need you to understand something. She hears him stand, hears him cross the room. Then he's sitting on the edge of the bed, his hand finding hers in the darkness. What I had with Ariana was beautiful. But it's not what I'll have with you. Each mate bond is unique. I won't compare you to her. I won't expect you to be her. You're your own person, with your own strengths and your own ways of loving. And that's what I need. Not a copy of what I lost, but something new. Something that's ours. Sarah turns her hand over, lacing her fingers through his. His palm dwarfs hers, rough and calloused, but the touch is infinitely gentle. I'm scared, she admits. Good. Fear means you understand what's at stake. But don't let it paralyze you. He squeezes her hand. You're stronger than you know. I've seen it. Now you just need to believe it yourself. She falls asleep like that, holding his hand, the mate bond wrapping around them both like a warm blanket. And for the first time in 6 years, Sarah dreams not of blood and silver collars and invisible hands that take without asking, but of white wolves running through moonlit forests, of crystal pendants that pulse with ancient magic, and of steel-gray eyes that see her, truly see her, as something precious and worth protecting. The trials begin at dawn. The entire pack gathers at the northern edge of their territory, where the mountains rise like jagged teeth against the pale sky. Sarah stands at the boundary line wearing simple clothes provided by Nadine. Dark pants, a fitted shirt, boots designed for climbing. No weapons, no supplies, just her and whatever power she can access. Theron stands apart from the crowd, his expression carefully neutral, but she can feel his concern through the mate bond. They haven't had time to complete the bond. Haven't had the opportunity to seal it fully through the mating ritual, but even this partial connection is powerful. She draws strength from knowing he's watching, that he believes in her. The head council member, an older male named Garrett, steps forward. He's never liked blood slaves, has argued for stricter controls on them, and Sarah knows he's one of those hoping she'll fail. The first trial begins now, Garrett announces. Sarah of No Pack, claiming to be Luna Prime, you will enter the mountains alone. You will survive 3 days and 3 nights. You will face the Ice Guardian and return with proof of your encounter. Failure means death. Retreat means exile. Success means progression to the second trial. Do you accept these terms? I accept. Sarah's voice carries clearly despite her nerves. Then go. And may the moon goddess judge your worth. Sarah takes a deep breath and shifts. Her white wolf emerges smoothly now that she's not fighting against years of suppression. She feels powerful in this form, more herself than she's been in years. The pack gasps and murmurs at the sight of her Luna Prime wolf, some with awe, others with suspicion. She catches Theron's eye one last time. He gives her the smallest nod. Then she turns and runs into the mountains. The terrain is brutal. Steep cliffs, narrow paths, drops that would kill her if she missteps. But her wolf is sure-footed and strong, faster than she remembers being. The pendant's power flows through her, guiding her instincts, sharpening her senses. She can feel the ancient magic of these mountains, can sense the presence of something vast and powerful watching her progress. The Ice Guardian. She reaches the heart of the mountains by midday. There's a clearing here, perfectly circular, surrounded by ice-covered cliffs that sparkle in the sunlight. In the center of the clearing stands a massive wolf carved entirely from ice and moonlight, exactly as Theron described. It's at least twice her size, with eyes that glow like frozen stars. Sarah shifts back to human form. She should be freezing in the mountain cold, but the pendant's warmth keeps her comfortable. She approaches the guardian slowly, with respect, and kneels before it. I am Sarah, she says clearly, last of the Crystal Moon Pack, daughter of Luna Prime bloodline. I seek your blessing. The Ice Guardian doesn't move, doesn't speak. For long moments, nothing happens. Then suddenly it lunges forward, massive jaws aimed at her throat. Sarah doesn't move, doesn't flinch. If she's meant to die here, so be it. But she won't die running. The Guardian's teeth stop a hair's breadth from her skin. Ice-cold breath washes over her. Then slowly, deliberately, the Guardian lowers its head and presses its forehead to hers. Knowledge floods through Sarah. Ancient memories, the history of Luna Prime wolves, the sacred duty they carry, the responsibility of being chosen to lead and protect. She sees previous Lunas stretching back through centuries, sees their triumphs and failures, their loves and losses. She sees her mother among them, young and beautiful, holding Sarah as an infant and whispering promises she couldn't keep. When the Guardian pulls back, a piece of its ice has broken off and remains in Sarah's hand, a shard shaped like a crescent moon, glowing with inner light. Her proof, her blessing. Thank you, she whispers. The Guardian inclines its head, then dissolves into snow that's carried away on the wind. Sarah clutches the ice shard and shifts back to wolf form. She's exhausted, emotionally drained from the visions, but exhilarated. She passed the first trial. She's one step closer. The journey back down the mountain takes 2 more days. She hunts for food, finds water in ice-cold streams, and sleeps in caves that shelter her from the worst of the cold. The mate bond is a constant comfort, and several times she feels Theron's presence through it, checking on her, sending her strength. When she finally emerges from the mountains at dawn on the 4th day, the pack is waiting. She shifts to human form. Someone has thoughtfully left clothes at the boundary line and holds up the glowing ice shard. Garrett looks disappointed. The rest of the council looks impressed. Theron looks relieved and proud in equal measure. The first trial is complete, Nadine announces, her voice warm with approval. Sarah has been blessed by the Ice Guardian. She is confirmed as Luna Prime bloodline. The pack erupts in varied reactions, cheers from some, concerned murmurs from others. But Sarah only has eyes for Theron. He's stayed in the same spot for 4 days, she realizes. Hasn't left his post. Has been standing vigil the entire time she was gone. Well done, he says quietly when she reaches him. His hand comes up to touch her face, and the mate bond surges with emotion. I knew you could do it. 1 down, Sarah manages, though she's swaying on her feet from exhaustion. 2 to go. Tomorrow, tonight, you rest. He catches her as her legs give out, lifting her easily into his arms. I've got you. And as he carries her back to the Luna quarters, past the pack members who are starting to see her differently, Sarah allows herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, she really is strong enough for this. Strong enough to survive the trials. Strong enough to be Luna. Strong enough to be his mate. Because she has something no one can take from her. She has a male who sees her worth. A mate who believes in her. And a future that, for the first time in her life, holds genuine hope instead of mere survival. The crystal pendant, now permanently merged with her heart, pulses with warmth. Ariana's final gift. Not a replacement, but a blessing. An acknowledgement that love doesn't die. It transforms, continues, finds new ways to grow. Sarah closes her eyes and lets herself rest, safe in Theron's arms, knowing that whatever comes next, she won't face it alone. Did you like this story? Make sure to subscribe for more alpha romance stories like this. Thank you for watching.